What's going on, everybody? This is Paul Newell, host of the Men Talk About podcast, and I gotta talk about this. Yeah, let's talk about porn. Let's talk about porn. I have been consuming a lot of pornography. Yep, yes, I have. I gotta tell you, I gotta be real about this. To the point where I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm doing this I'm doing this action for action's sake. So me being my curious, inquisitive self, I decided that it's time for me to dive into this part of myself. I dive into this action, this habit, that I have developed. It's time to dive in. And that's what this video is about. This video is diving into porn and what porns of impact are that I'm finding, right? The impacts that it has on me. And also, what are the things that I'm doing to reframe or to take the place of? So, first things first here, I started talking about the topic of porn and its impact in one of my previous podcasts with Carlos Teasdale. When we started talking about sacred energy center, sex energy. And at the time of this recording, I am on a detox of sorts. And really, it's more, I'm on a 6 month quest of understanding what self-love is. What the heck that all even means is that as I'm doing my work and the coach that I'm working with this year, we uncovered that I was holding a lot of sexual anchors and ties and tethers in my sacral energy center. And for those that are like, what the heck is a sacral energy center? I'm glad you asked. Sacral energy center is a energy center that's right around your organs. Okay, it's the color is orange, and it's the seat of sex energy and creativity. Now, sex energy is said to be one of the most powerful energies that as human beings that we possess. The thing is that in our educational system, we have yet to really have a way of teaching how this works, especially for men. For women, they naturally get to learn. Why? Because they have cycles every month that they experience. So that's their way of really, because they have the ability to carry life and give birth to life. Now, for men, we have nothing. We really have nothing like on a regular basis to remind us of what we do, who we are. So our thing is our education basically stops once we hit puberty. Okay, we have that sex talk about what we got here, balls and testes and a penis. That's okay. We got that. You put it in the vagina, and then like if you leave what comes from your testes, the semen in there, you got a kid. All right, good. Get out there and be somebody. Make sure you strap up. That's it. That's it. Most of our education comes from porn. So the crazy thing about this is like me even diving into this porn subject, I was like, oh my God, this is blasphemy. It's like I'm going against my parents. I mean, porn's taught me everything I know about sex. Like, what? Come on, man. I gotta go against porn. And I recognize that, hold up, something's up here. That something's up here with me, this porn consumption, especially when everything was going on with the coronavirus and people and living by myself. And in this 6 month stretch of sex detox and journey to self-love, like I was like, dang man, my porn consumption went up to the freaking roof. So I started to investigate this with my coach. And these are 3 things that I found in this experience that really were like, what the heck? This kind of blew the roof off of stuff for me about my porn consumption and what's really been going on. 1, I became aware that I'm putting porn in place of. In place of what? In place of purpose, in place of meaning, in place of mission. When I was digging down to it, I started like, I'm an analyzer. I'm like really, I can be super analytical. Like, okay, when do I usually do this? Like, okay, what's going on in my mind? What am I usually avoiding? I knew that was something along that line. So when I started really looking at the trends and like started taking a step back and meditating in place of porn, as I was like examining this, I started looking at like, well, wow, I'm avoiding something. I'm running away from something. I'm procrastinating from something. So it started to have me understand that, wow, like for me, at first I thought it was boredom. And I was like, hold on. Like, oh, I'm bored, that's what it is. Nah, it's bullshit. Because there's a bunch of stuff that I can do. I choose not to, or I choose to do some action in place of. Okay, you follow me? Now, this is the thing that I'm recognizing, and I'm starting to practice as a way for me to streamline my porn consumption, okay? Because porn is not a good or bad. Some people have a way of using it, some people have a way of abusing it. Hey, listen, there's always poles and there's everything in between, baby. Who you with? All right, I'm looking to streamline my consumption. And for me, I recognize, and I'm practicing now, okay, what am I working on? What is something I could work on in place of? And how I'm working on my mind is like, hey, look, why don't I do whatever I get to do before I go masturbate, before I go jerk off? Okay, why don't I do that first? Okay, then I get that as a reward. And what I found is that when I go to do my thing, I get so consumed in that piece and whatever that activity is, like something I was planning on doing, and then I get really hooked into it. I find that once I get hooked into it, I don't want to go and do that other. I don't go masturbate or jerk off. I'm like, nah, I don't. I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm good. My mind is consumed with something else. So if you're like me and your porn consumption's been high, my invitation is start to look at, hey, what am I putting porn in place of? Okay, what am I putting porn in place of? Start to think about that. Now, the second piece is, if you're my porn consumption is high, and I've always watched porn, in this whole process, I recognize that I operate my sexual relationships from the porn box. What's the porn box? I'm glad you asked it. Did you know what? Thanks for asking. You know, we're right here. We're right here. So look. So what the heck is the porn box? So this idea came to me. It really revealed itself after I read this book called Leadership and Self-Deception by the Arbinger Institute. So they talked about my perception. I could be in a box if I start to view something as soon as I start to go against my natural instinct, I put myself and others in a box. So for me, if my natural instinct is like something on earth, my gut, my purpose is like, yo, listen, work on this marketing thing, or listen, call this person and connect, blah, blah, blah. And then I go against it, and then I'm like, no, I'm gonna go jerk off instead. Now all of a sudden I'm putting myself in a box and I start to justify all my actions. Like, well, listen, I want to jerk off to freaking, to release some stress, man. Then I get more creative. Come on, man, right? Come on, please. Or I just want to feel good and numb myself for a little bit, take a little nap to help me recharge. Like, what the fuck is that? What kind of justification is that? But, and listen, it's something I became aware of. I was like, oh shoot, like, dang, man, what? I did that. I did. So anyway, so that's when I recognized, like, okay, look, by me looking at porn so much, when I started having sex with my partner, it was like, I recognized that was one of the reasons why my sexual relations maybe a lot of times stalled or plateaued, because I was viewing sexual relations from that porn box, from what I learned in porn. I mean, like, listen, me even talking about porn and even the perception that I'm going against it, I'm like, yo, listen, that's really not my intention. I watch porn. I watch porn. My thing is, I'm looking to avoid abusing porn. Like, everything in moderation, right? Like, I'm looking at, like, what's the reason I go to porn? Because looking at things from this porn box, now I start viewing my sexual relations as, is my lady doing what she's doing? And if she's not, like, hey, well, shoot, what's wrong with her? Now I can start looking like, well, maybe there's someone else out there that can do that. Like, come on, man. I'm in the box. Or it's like, man, like, do I have to have stamina like that? Like, maybe do I have to do that? Or like, was that what I'm supposed to do? As a man, like, this is the things that can ruin relationships. That's why you hear a lot about these statistics, but really stories of guys that maybe fall apart in relationship. If you talk to them about their porn consumption, yeah, I jerk off a lot. I watch a lot of porn. Okay, so now in that place of stress, your place of comfort is some actor or some entertainer from a screen doing an act, being a mechanism. So if you're seeing that, like if you're seeing that, like again, you're looking at things from that box. And I recognize, like, I was in the porn box right there, man. And this is something like the porn consumption can have us in. So reducing, streamlining your porn content will have you stepping outside of the box of porn. Being able to see your partner as your partner, and like being able to step away from porn. And hey, listen, I'm all for masturbating, right? So if you're gonna masturbate, try masturbating without porn. That was another thing too. Like I tried to masturbate without porn. It was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe how much I lost my imagination. I was like, oh shit, like this is fucked up. Like I need porn to freaking jerk off right now. What happened? Yeah, this is real. So this solidified how I knew, like, okay, if my imagination is low for me to jerk off without porn, right? Or maybe if my imagination is low, making it that low to the point that it's difficult for me to jerk off without porn, free of porn, then anytime I had a sexual release, I was really looking at it to be like a porn, because I had no imagination. I had no way of connection. There's no connection in porn. I didn't know what that connection is supposed to even be like. And this is the thing of living in the porn box that can fuck some shit up. I'm telling you right now. So here is the last one. This one right here. This hit me. This really hit me because, especially learning about myself as a man and what I truly possess as a physical body man. And then also what's happening inside with the masculine and feminine energies within me. I'm looking at, like, what are the resources that live within me and what are the ways that they leak, right? And me masturbating to porn is giving into lust versus love. Now, this is the thing that was really eye-opening to me, is that, as a man, like, my education about what the sacredness of our testicles, like what our testicles possess, the ability to spark a seed to grow into into life, that's precious. And it's like having a precious metal and really knowing nothing about it, giving it to someone and not telling them anything about it. That precious metal may be something really of value, but the person who gets it has yet to understand the value, so they'll treat it however they'll treat it as if nothing. They'll abuse it, they'll use it whatever kind of way. And I think that's what happens with men and our penis and however you want to call it, dick, lingam, whatever, I don't care. But that's how we view it. We look at it, it's like what we have is a precious resource, is a precious sacred thing. And we have yet to find an education system. Well, maybe that's Men's Talk Academy. Men Talk About Academy, by the way, that's what this is. It's like, let's learn about how sacred is this? Because when men can view our bodies as sacred, then we'll view our partner's bodies as sacred, okay? We're not going to view it from this porn box. And so now getting back to the third point, though, because I started to get on a soapbox. Oops. So listen, back to this. When we just jerk off to porn, like we're jerking off we're just giving off our creativity and life force. Like there's pranayama, which is the breath work and like breathing in life force energy, right? And there's life force, there's life energy that resides in males' testes. I want you guys to consider here something that I recognize is that me giving over, just ejaculating from porn is lowering my self-esteem, because I'm just giving this over for no reason. Like there's no purpose. I'm just giving it up. For what? So this is the thing to start. Listen. I don't know what men are gonna get from this. I'm sharing my experiences and the three things that are really sticking out to me that I'm learning, that I'm now implementing on practice, is being able to conserve, harness my life force energy, and that being retaining my semen, holding it as sacred, giving it when it's in connection with another being. Okay, giving it over for reason, or in bliss and enjoyment, if so be it. and understanding that there are other ways of doing that without ejaculating, and bringing in that life force within the physical body and experiencing what that is in a sexual experience. Listen, there's a whole bunch of stuff that can come from this. And the thing is that we as men, if we just give over our ejaculate, our semen over porn recklessly, especially over hours and days, we're draining our life force. Think about like what happens after you come, right? After you ejaculate. I don't know about you, I'm tired of this. I'm like, yo, I just want to chill, man. Let me chill, get a breath for a second. Yo, that's what happens. Like you're giving over life force energy. Now think about when you have that feeling, that same sensation, by breathing and harnessing in that energy. What if you could feel the way you do when you ejaculate, and you have that go through your body instead of out your body? Think about what that could be like, and then holding the energy. That's the stuff that is possible in the male body, okay? In the male body. And that's the stuff that can enhance the experience, the sexual experience. Now the thing is like, look, porn is gonna be porn. Porn is gonna live forever. What I'm saying is if you're consuming a lot of porn, this whole video is about really looking at just taking a witness look at what's going on, right? And giving yourself some options to leverage that energy that you're giving over to porn and just giving and ejaculating in your towel and rag or what have you. Yo, look, hey, look, I get it, man. Look, no judgment on this piece. I'm just talking the stuff I'm learning, okay? So as you're going through this, let's look at this from this perspective. When you're going through, like, look at the three things we talked about. What are you putting porn in place of? Like what, and this is a time if you're like, I don't know what this could mean. Think about what's your purpose, what's your meaning, like how's your productivity? If those things are low or those things are unknown, then porn is in place of one of those things. Figure it out what that is for you. The second thing is being able to look at your relationships outside of the porn box. So that's being able to look at like a woman or a man, whatever your preference, whatever your orientation is, being able to look at that and then being able to look at that as a person, right? As a being rather than flesh and a body. And listen, looking at it every now and then as flesh and body is good too. Like that's some fun stuff. And still understanding like that's a person, that's a being, right? Being able to connect to that and then enjoy like, whoa, hey, this is a great form, right? Being able to be in that space, like that's being able to step outside of the porn box and see a person of being as a person of being, connected from that space, because that could be fun, right? Now, the third piece we talked about is lowering the self-esteem, giving lust over, because we give into lust over love. What this is about is semen retention, being able to hold the semen, being able to really be selective of when you give over your semen. All right, because this is life force energy. This is creative energy. As you're practicing breath work, I highly encourage tantric breath work, being able to manage, being able to feel sensations in the body, yoga for breath control and opening up the body. Do all those things, but the most important thing is manage your life force energy. That's what this third piece is about, really. Now that I think about it, yeah, that's what it is about. Managing your life force energy. That is 3. Semen retention, semen manage. I call it. I'm working on semen management. Like, really, listen. If I'm gonna give over my ejaculate, man, like, listen, man, I'm gonna make sure it's for a special occasion, not for some random bullshit. If anything, I'll just enjoy the experience. I don't have to. I'll breathe it in. Rambling. So listen, let me get back to this. Check this out, man. Again, what's porn in place of? Get out of the porn box and manage your life force energy. This is Paul, your host of the Men Talk About podcast and your new wellness guide, helping you get to your version of wellness, giving you the tools to step into your leadership, into whatever your endeavors are. So be well, man. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting, and I'm out of here. Peace.